So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend and former British middleweight champion, of course, Denzel Bentley. Denzel, how you doing, mate?
I'm all good. Oh, my voice. I'm all good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Denzel was just telling me off camera, not only has he lost his voice from cheering on teammate Ellis Zorro at the weekend, unfortunately it didn't go his way as it turned out, but also he's given himself this bank holiday Monday off. When did Martin give you that authority?
Uh, no, I mean, we all had a long weekend traveling from Leeds. We all got back yesterday. We're all tired. He said, look, take a day to recover. It's back holiday. And then we're back in the gym tomorrow, Tuesday. So, yeah,
Tiring work, shouting from the crowd, supporting.
exactly. I was also the designated driver. I had to drive everyone up to Leeds and back home safely. So there was a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, well, I bet driving's done your voice as well, all that road rage. I know you're a
Yeah.
notorious road rager, yeah. Just want to talk to you first of all about the win recently over Danny Dignam. Before we talk about the performance itself, how kind of friendly were you and Danny before the fight was agreed?
We were quite cool. To the point where when he was training with Kevin Lilly, Kevin would say like things that are like we wouldn't ever fight unless it was life-changing money, because we used to spend so much time in the gym together, especially in the old gym. He used to come down quite a lot. Whenever he was fighting, he'd come down to the Peacock gym and get ready. And when I was fighting, or if I was fighting a southpaw, he'd always come down and help me out and help me get ready. So we were quite cool. I mean, I'm not gonna say we were best of friends, but in that little boxing circle, he wasn't someone that I'd ever think to put forward to Martin as an opponent, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be like, oh, let's get Danny Dignam. Do you know what I mean? So
And I'm
yeah.
guessing, without meaning to cast any shade on Uncle Frank, it wasn't maybe life-changing money that you earned in beating Danny in the end.
Well, nah, you're cool now.
Well,
Nah,
it
you're
depends on
cool.
your life, I suppose, what you want to change. But
Depends on your life. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
does it make it more difficult, maybe either in preparation or in the ring, that you have been cool with someone and then, you've got to seek and destroy it? There's no, you can't show any weakness.
I think I used to feel like that. Like, oh, I don't really want to fight him. He's quite cool. But now I think like, I'm at a point in my career where I can't afford to, go easy on anyone because there's some sort of relationship there or some sort of like feel sorry feelings for them. I'm not like saying I felt sorry for him, but I just wanted to prove a point. He was trying to hurt me, and I had to set my mind to, it was him or me. So I couldn't, afford to even mentally step off the gas because I didn't want to hurt him or anything. I went in there with full intentions to hurt him.
And in terms of all-round performance, particularly given the quality of opposition, is that up there as one of your best?
Yeah, most definitely, especially coming back from a terrible loss like I did. That was up there with, one of my best performances, yeah. Like you said, especially because of the quality of opponent.
And then I have to ask about that. You have looked completely destructive, particularly at domestic level. Certain fights, you look like a world beater. You went in with Janibek, of course, and gave a great account of yourself. I think Frank Warren certainly said he feels if you'd have started a bit early, you could have won the fight. Then you fight someone, and no disrespect to Nathan Heaney, he's doing a great job as British champion, and it seemed like you underperformed. Have you been able to identify what the differences are? Is it simply a case of fighting to the level of opposition that you perceive, or is there something more than that?
Yeah, no, a bit of everything really. Um, Heaney, I didn't see as a threat. I just felt like, okay, cool, I got to go in there and look good and perform, and I get him out of there. But then obviously, the last 3 or 4 weeks of that camp, my son was born prematurely, and he was in hospital for about 10 days. So the last 3 or 4 weeks of that camp, I spent 10 days in the hospital. So I'm going gym, hospital, home every day until he came out. And when he came out, whatever, he was at his mum's house, and then it was just on my mind, like, how is he? What's the health visitor saying? And I was like, all right, cool, just try and get through this, and I'll deal with home later. And obviously, I went in there with the wrong mindset, just walking forward, plodding forward, just trying to land a big shot. Whereas everyone that's seen me box knows I don't box like that. But in my mind, I didn't have the ability to switch on and start thinking, okay, draw him in, feint, okay, step back because you can't get to him, move left, move right. It was just I'm going straight for 12 rounds. And anyone that's seen me fight knows I've never done that. I've never fought like that. There's always a change in my direction when I'm fighting. There's always, different sorts of movement, and there wasn't anything. So I haven't even watched it back because I know what I've done and I know it was stupid. I was chasing around thinking, okay, knock him out and go home. You know what I mean? Because I just, like, even when I was in Manchester for that week, I really didn't want to be there. I wasn't excited for the fight. I wasn't riled up. I wasn't like, oh, we got a fight. Like, we're nearly there. Let's go. It was just like, I stepped on the scales and I'm like, yeah, I'm going home tomorrow. You know what I mean? So my mind for that fight was just all wrong. All wrong.
So
But
first of
no
all,
excuses. He turned up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, how is your son now?
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's good. He's growing well. He's healthy. And
Good.
yeah, I'm happy.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks.
All the stuff that was going on in the background means you can pinpoint one of the major reasons for that result. Does that make it more or less frustrating? You know, more frustrating because that's a loss you probably shouldn't have taken, or less frustrating
Yeah.
because you've got a reason for it. You know, it's probably not going to happen again.
A bit of both, you know. At first, it was very frustrating. I'm like, oh, what the hell do I do now? Like, I can't come out and start saying all this stuff. I just look like an idiot, like a sore loser. I look like an idiot. Like, because every time I see people making excuses, I'm just like, oh, look, you shouldn't have got in the ring then. So it's like, I'm not gonna be that person. So I'm like, I'm talking to people in the family. They're like, look, that's your journey. You got to say it. I'm like, nah. If I do say it, not now. I got to come back and win first. Because if I come back and I don't win, what's my excuse then? Do you know what I mean? So it makes it less frustrating now because I know why. And like he said, it won't happen again because that's happened now. It's done. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was something I hadn't been through before and I had to go through. But now, like, obviously, like, pray to God, my next child, that won't happen to you again and I won't have to go through that stuff again. Or I'm just pulling out anyway. I'm not getting into a fight with so much stress and baggage on me again. But yeah, it was just a lot. Like, there's other things going on as well, like friends passing away and going to funerals. It was just a bad time. It wasn't a good time to fight, to be honest. My head was just not there.
Did you consider pulling out?
Nah, never.
No.
I've never pulled out of a fight and I felt like I don't want to start pulling out of fights now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but like sometimes your ego can just get the better of you and it's sort of stupid, but
No, it's
that's what it is.
understandable. I'm sure you're not the first and you definitely won't be the last. Um,
Yeah.
But now, as you said, back on winning ways, really good win as well. What's next for you? Because we know, obviously, Heaney's tied up. I don't know if you'd even want that rematch, but he's tied up with his rematch with Brad Pauls. What's next for you?
But I've been told I'll be out in July, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, I'm already kind of half in shape. So, you know, when I'm in the gym, when I'm back in the gym, I don't really need to do too much. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm staying active. I'm out in July. Just waiting for, you know, the rest of the team to get back from Saudi so we can discuss like further things like opponents and stuff like that. So
And will
yeah,
that be
I'm
on
out in
the
July.
Joe Joyce, Derek Chisora show?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good show to be on. I know not everyone's convinced those guys should be fighting, but it's going to be a massive show, and I'm sure it's going to do big numbers at the O2.
Yeah, 100%. Chisora, someone that always pulls a crowd in. We know what Joe Joyce is about. Joe Joyce has only lost to the same person twice. That person just managed to figure him out. But I mean, until, you know, we see him take further losses, he's still Joe Joyce, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's still dangerous to anyone. He's the same guy the fight before he just knocked out Parker. And look what Parker's gone on to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, sometimes you kind of age overnight and then just, you know, it ruins you. Or knockouts like that can ruin you, but we're yet to see it. So I think it's a good fight to come back to. Chisora's always going to bring it as well. And if Chisora beats Joyce, then maybe he can continue and everyone's calling for him to retire. So, but he said he wants to have 50 fights before that. So if this is one of the 50 fights, he's still producing or, you know, giving us as fans good fights. It's not just 50 fights fighting anyone to make up the numbers. So we got to respect, you know, what Chisora's doing for, you know, for us fans.
And there's less than 2 months to go until that July date. There is a number of middleweights that might be in the frame for you who are now tied up. But if you had the choice, you could pick any opponent that isn't tied up and that might be ready for July. Who would you go for? Who's best for you at this time, do you think?
I don't really know, you know. I don't really know. I'm trying to think. Who could I fight that would, you know, get me closer to a world title shot? Because that's what I want. I mean, after winning that belt, I'm number 3 with the WO. So I'd like a fight that's going to push me towards the final eliminator towards the end of the year. And I don't really know in my mind who could kind of do that for me, if that makes sense.
Okay, well, we shall see. But let me ask you some other kind of middleweight fights coming up to get your predictions. You're obviously an experienced pundit now as well, so you should be as good as that as you are in the ring. We'll start with your old foe, Nathan Heaney, taking on Brad Pauls once again. First fight, who did you have winning, and what do you expect from the rematch?
You know what? I think I tuned into the first fight in the third round, so it's kind of hard for me to pick who won. But I could say it looked like Heaney started off better, but then coming to the end of the fight, Brad finished stronger. That he kind of realized he could hurt him and he could get to him and stuff like that. So thinking his next fight, he just needs to find a way to close the distance earlier. And then because he had him hurt, he had him really hurt about 2 or 3 times. I think he's gum shield to buy some time. But now Brad Pauls is going to go in there with more confidence, which I don't know if I think it could be a good thing, but we don't know. He might go in there overconfident, and Nathan might just pick him apart. But it's a good fight either way. It's a good fight. I enjoyed the first one.
So you're not picking a winner?
Nah, I'm not picking a winner, but I'm not picking a winner. It's a good fight, though.
Well, I've got 2 more for you, so I hope you're going to pick a winner in these 2 because we've let you off the first one. Another one of your former opponents in Felix Cash returning to the ring after quite a long time out and under a new trainer in Adam Booth. He's going up against European champion Tyler Denny, who's on a really good run of form. Boxer have done a really good job with Tyler Denny. Seems to look a bit better with every fight as he's stepping up the levels, similar to the job they've done with Dan Aziz, I suppose, just at a different weight. What do you make of that fight?
It's a good fight. Like you said, you got like 2 fighters that probably you wouldn't expect to step in the ring and expect a good fight out of them. You'd expect it just to be one way, but because of the journey of both of them and the way their careers are going, you've got someone that at their best form and someone that could be at their worst form. We're yet to see. In his last 2 performances, it was very bad form. But when you get a new lease of life, new trainer, you go again, you might have found some new motivation. The obvious pick would be Cash. I'd pick Cash. But Tyler Denny's been on a good run of form, and he's beaten unbeaten fighters back to back to back, and he's proved himself. He's earned his position, really and truly. You can't fault him for anything. He's earned his position. But even though Cash probably isn't his best, like I said, we're yet to see. But from what we've seen, he wasn't his best. I'm still going to go with Cash because although Tyler Denny, he's done what he's done, it's hard to just beat fighters at that level that Cash is at without no power. Physically, he'll come, he's got work rate, he'll put shots on, but if he ain't got enough power to, hurt or stop your opponents, Cash is going to keep walking through and hitting them with big shots. Cash is the one that carries the power in that fight, technically better, and he's aggressive. He's probably more aggressive than Tyler Denny, so he's going to come forward, and I don't think Tyler Denny's going to be able to back him up. So Tyler Denny will probably take some. I'm going to go with Cash, especially if Cash is at his best, the Cash that we saw before, before his fight, well, up to his fight with me, and before. After that, he wasn't really good, was he? He hasn't really looked good, I should say.
You ruined him. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. Oh, no, I didn't.
But talking about former opponents, have you got a kind of desire to, correct your record, if you like, and go back in with the people who've defeated you, or is it more just world title now?
No, it's definitely world title. It's both. I mean, it's world title. I mean, I'd have liked me and Cash to both get to that world level and rematch because it would have been bigger. Do you know what I mean? But I've taken a few losses since then. My journey's become harder to get to that destination, and he's just kind of falling behind in terms of his inactivity and things going on in his personal life. So, I'd love to get that rematch, maybe on a 5v5 one day, or something. Now that these shows are becoming more, it's just becoming more and more. I think it's more realistic now that I can probably get a rematch with Cash. So I'd definitely like to rematch him down the line.
Well, talking of 5v5, we've got the first iteration on Saturday night in Riyadh. They're already doing media there today, I've been told this morning. So they're all kind of primed and ready. Someone you were linked with a lot in the past, fight obviously hasn't come to fruition yet, is Hamzah Sheeraz, promotional stablemate. Yeah. He's not only representing your promoter, Frank Warren, he's the captain. So if he wins, he'll get double points. And if he loses, I guess it'd be a bit of an embarrassment for Frank for picking the wrong captain. But he's going up against Amo Williams, another really talented fighter from the US, Eddie Hearn's stable. How do you see that one kind of coming together? What sort of fight should we expect?
I think it'll be quite explosive. It's gonna be a good fight. Amo's gonna bring it from the jump. Hamza's gonna try and stay composed and do what his corner have asked of him. Hamza's a very good listener, and he can act off what the instructions his cornermen are giving him. So I think he's gonna try and come and stay patient and then like work off his jab. But Amo's just gonna bring it from the jump. Amo's got great hand speed. Amo's got good power, and he's very athletic. He's very reactive. Like he's got good movement. I sparred them both. It was years ago, and they've both improved since then. But going off the spars I had of them back then, I think at that time I sparred both of them. Hamza's obviously a little younger, but Amo was better. He hit harder. But since then, the improvements from Hamza have been impressive. He's improved a lot, and from what I've seen from Amo, so is he. But Amo carries real power.
So promotional loyalties aside for a minute, who would you pick to win that one?
I'm Team Queensberry. As much as me and Hamza have been put against each other and whatnot, I'm Team Queensberry for this one. So Hamza, go do your job, and then eventually maybe we can fight, and I can take his own instead.
Just on that, if you were Frank Warren heading into this event, you know what the 5 fights are and the 5 Queensberry representatives. Who would you have picked as the captain?
Probably Nick Ball.
You think he's the most likely to win?
So not Ray Ford is a hard. All the fights are hard, but I think they're all good fights. I just think Nick Ball. I don't know about more likely to win because there's depending on what Wilder turns up, Zhang could win. But then again, Zhang's last performance was horrible as well against Parker.
It's true.
He dropped him twice and then lost that because he didn't do enough work. Do you know what I mean? So we don't know what shape he's coming in. He's old. He's 41 or something. That I hope he turns up. Do you know what I mean? Because Zhang's a good fighter. I mean, I like Zhang, but his last performance against Parker just felt like he probably didn't train hard enough, or he was just too old to do what he needed to do. But Nick Ball's the most active. Nick Ball's gonna press. He's gonna bring a fight. He's gonna be horrible in there. He's gonna be forward up. And from what I remember, Ray Ford got a draw, and that draw came from an opponent that was pressing him, pressing him. So I think that kind of style of fight might be his Achilles heel. That might be his kryptonite. So I think Nick Ball's just gonna, as the rounds go on, like Nick Ball doesn't slow down. He's just gonna keep physically bullying him, putting these shots together, and I think he has the best chance of winning in that whole 5v5. But literally anyone can beat anyone in that whole setup. But I think he's got the best chance of winning for me.
So without going through all the fights and predicting them, we'll spare you that in case Frank gets annoyed. But what do you think the final score is going to be?
I got it 3-2 to Queensberry.
3-2 to Queensberry. All right. Well, we can work it out because you've already predicted Sheeraz and Nick Ball are going to win. So there's only one that we're not really sure about now. But no, really appreciate it. And yeah, can't wait till you've got an opponent named. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you back out in July.
Nice one. Thank you.
And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day off.
Yeah, me too. Because tomorrow's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Thanks, Naps.
Take care, mate. Speak soon.